What's up, everybody? Today I want to talk about probably one of my favorite, format, I guess you could call it, of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or slash product releases that Yu-Gi-Oh! Slash Konami has been doing in the last couple of years, and that would be Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duel. Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duel has burst onto the scene with, I'd say it's been a modest success. I think it overall has a positive opinion, I don't think anyone, is super invested into Speed Duel. I think it's much more of a casual setting from what I have gathered. I know very few people that actually play Speed Duel. Most of the time, it is just me that plays Speed Duel, and I convince some of my friends to try it when the new box drops. Which, in that regard, I think it works. I think going away from the set boosters, try and be like traditional Yu-Gi-Oh! Was worked wonders. Because instead of, opening up packs and, like trying to force a new format to people, they advertise it as a fun with friends, quick, it's inexpensive, 8 debts. This one was like, I got this for like $15, 4 debts right in there. This one I got for, I think, what was it, like $20? Can't remember how much. I think this one was like $20-25 I got it for. Very inexpensive, and you get a bunch of decks. Your friends pop open, you play them. A lot of good fun. I think that's what these are good for. These are like the last 3 Speed Duel related things. We had GX, Duel Academy, Midterm, and now Duelist of Shadows. And overall, I think these are very good products, but it just makes me wonder how much longer does Speed Duel have, because of just, almost they're limited, what they are. The whole three zones each. And, it makes me wonder, what's next for them? Because they already have, confirmed their next box is going back to Classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Admittedly, cannot remember exactly, what, it's, I know it's some smaller character decks. I know it's, but it kind of surprised some people that, when instead of going forward, we're going back. Just because, admittedly, I can't see Speed Duel, I think part of the reason people like Speed Duel is just the simplicity aspect of it. The most complex monster you can summon is a fusion monster, I believe. Are there rituals? If there are rituals, I think there are rituals. But, that's the most complex monster. There's no link summoning, no pendulum summoning. There's no, it's Z summoning, synchro summoning, And I think that's the big selling point for it. It's much easier to pick up and play and understand. You can pick up any deck out of here. Like, you can pick up elemental heroes and just know, yep, I get the point here. Try this fusion summon out something good, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You read the card, you can figure out some combos right away, I think. With regular Yu-Gi-Oh!, I don't think you could do that. I think it takes a little more, attention to detail, understanding what all your cards do and how they work. It's one of those, I think going in, you need to know what you're doing as opposed to just picking up on the fly. Which is fine, I'm not faulting the game. Magic the Gathering is pretty much the same way, especially at the commander level. I'm not faulting the game, Yu-Gi-Oh! For that. That's, games have to evolve, and, in this case, they not de-evolve, but almost, just focused on a different point in their lives. Which I think is great. And I really enjoy these. And, I do have a couple ideas on what they could do to maybe, not save Speed Duel, but, maybe make it a little differently. And I'll start right here with what this box is and why this box actually annoyed me a lot. We see Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duel GX, Midterm Paradox. Who's on the cover here? It's Paradox Brothers, Jaden, and Cyrus. Now this, I don't know if you're not familiar with the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime, is a direct reference, you can't tell me it's not, to a duel between Jaden and Cyrus versus the Paradox Brothers. Great nostalgia, great episode, great duel, see, some old, some nostalgia cards, good for the original UD fans, it's a great episode. And this box, I thought, was going to be a direct, hey, let's recreate that. Smaller box, only 4 decks. Got 4 people right here. Instead, what do? They made one deck for Paradox and, Para and Dots. They made a deck for Jaden and Cyrus. And then over here, we have this dude, Bastion, gets his deck even though it doesn't feel like it should. So that's my first thing. Give us true tag duels. Build decks that are designed to work together, almost. There's been some good staples like this one right here. What was the other one that Yugi and Kaiba have worked together in a couple of duels during the Battle City era, if I recall. I'm not saying we need a 4-person duel like the one dude from the Big Five versus Tristan, Serenity, and Dice Man. So I don't know, but so there have been a couple staples, and I think at least if you're gonna do smaller boxes like this, do something like that. You're cashing on nostalgia here. You're cashing on. You're like, hey, I remember that. Give us that, so that way kind of take on the characters. Give us that. I understand, Para and Dots didn't give us a whole lot to offer, but that's where you can have some creativity there, and really, hey, let's give, Dots more cards, and make him have a true deck so they can work together to get out the Gate Guardian, I think that'd be really cool. And that could get into my next point, really, as well as what they could also do is maybe in a small capacity. I don't think this should be a thing that they do a whole lot of. Let me get that clear. Is that it makes Speed Duel exclusive cards. Because I think the big, one thing that is great about Speed Duel is all of these cards that you see here, all of these are legal in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think that is great. It is a great way to cheaply reprint cards, especially some really good cards. So, or even if you're just looking for 1 or 2 cards out of these boxes, it is still probably just worth it to get the whole box. And then, you get the whole box anyway. Yeah, might as well just, shuffle up and play some decks with my friends if I got them, So I think that is, what we do. But I think with the limited capacity of Speed Duel, I would not be surprised if they choose to, make some exclusive Speed Duel cards. Maybe cards that help you, make things count for 2 tributes instead of 1. Maybe cards that, maybe cards that can, briefly nullify, your not a skill card for like a turn or something. Because the duels happen fast. I think, overall, that's some, specific cards to that. Like, it exists in other games. There's cards, in Magic the Gathering that are really that are basically only playable in Commander. But, as opposed to, cards in Pioneer, Standard, and Modern, do fine, but in Commander they're garbage. So, something along those lines I think would be great. But overall, I really don't 100% know. Could they go to the 5Ds era? Maybe. In a limited capacity? Maybe. Morphtronics, I think, would work fine. Could Yusei's deck translate? Maybe. Limited tuners could work. If you get any higher than that, I don't think at Z's monsters, I think Sacred Monsters could maybe work. I think I also saw they already added that to Duel Links, the mobile version of Speed Duel, essentially. And Speed Duel came second, so this is the real, physical version of Duel Links, I guess you could say. But overall, I think they could do that. If they go any further, though, than that, and even 5Ds, I think just push it. Maybe it's just because I still remember 5Ds fondly. I was still in the game at that point. That was 5Ds was the point right when I kind of fell out of Yu-Gi-Oh! And then I saw at Z's monsters, I saw Link monsters, I just Pendulum monsters, whatever, and that's when I fell out of it. That's why I like this. Admittedly, I do not play a whole lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Really, just because of just the way the game is played. I kind of have that. Mostly what I've been playing recently is Magic, especially Commander, and even that I'm kind of, I'm not saying I'm falling out of love with the game. I just don't like the way it's played. I like the cards. I like what the cards do. I just don't like the way that I'm supposed to play the cards. It's less about it's less about how being able to play the game the way I want to, and more about how I'm expected to play the game. And I think that's what Speed Duel does well. Speed Duel is, the way someone described it to me once is, I enjoy the turns, I enjoy the back and forth, I enjoy each person having a shot, I enjoy, having to, instead of having infinite resources, having to value your resources. And yes, I know Yu-Gi-Oh! GOAT format exists. I'm thinking about getting into that, if I can actually find a player group in my area. And I think, that is great, and I think Speed Duel, prior to that really becoming popular, which I know it has, been around for, from what I gather, it's been around for a little bit, but it's really been getting more traction recently. Speed Duel really was that for me. It gave me my fits of, like, I, love these cards. I love, this era, the more, I guess you could say, simple side of things. And, I just really think, Speed Duel was great. Overall, though, if you go any further, you lose the point. If you add links, if you add Z's, and if you add synchros to a certain extent, I think you lose what you had. You're missing the, what you have made here. Unless they focus more on just exclusively, the anime side of things, which it seems like they have. So, we don't have, any crazy busted debts. We have Yusei and his, Strap Iron Scarecrow, which actually might be a little too good for Speed Duel, thinking about it. Maybe. But, or yugioh with his, lesser number monsters, and I stopped watching after that, admittedly. But it maybe, I mean, I have to wait and see, but I hope they don't go that route, just because, that's kind of like the domino effect. Once you push it that little bit, it's all just going to come tumbling down. You're going to lose the main thing that was your selling point to begin with. And overall, I just don't think it'll be for the best. Another thing they could do is maybe focus just full-on anime exclusive debts, because you see a lot of Jaden debts, and, Supreme Kane, whatever. There's some cards in there that he never played, that was not staples of his deck. They add them in there because they're good cards, they help with the synergy, they help with the deck's trying to do. Which is fine, not faulting them. The core of the deck is still Jaden. But, I feel like they could just, if you want to, just give us that full anime experience, just take out all that good stuff and just all Jaden, all Cyrus, all Paradox, it could be there. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough about this. If y'all enjoyed it, just tell me if you have any opinion on Speed Duel, let me know. And, yeah, if you have any ideas on how Speed Duel could, keep itself going, please let me know in the comments. And, appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Peace.